What up, everyone? So I am not in the garage today. I'm actually away for training, and this is the room they put me in, so this is where the intro is coming from. Unfortunately, I didn't expect for this exhaust build to take up 3 episodes, and I didn't film enough intros and outros, so this is where we're at. Today we're going to be going over finishing up the exhaust bracket, welding it to the muffler, and an overview of the exhaust. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any clips of the exhaust note or installation and removal of it, but we'll go over a lot of welding, a lot of detail on the exhaust, and just talking about it. So stay tuned.
It's mass throttle driving fast, taking control.
So here you're going to see Roger is tapping these square plates to take shape of the muffler. And you might be wondering why not just weld our bracket that we made to the muffler. Well, we decided and talked over. Roger was thinking that it would be best to make the square plates and then weld the bracket to that, so then it would disperse the stress along the muffler and the bracket, not just the bracket to the muffler. So by doing that, it makes it stronger, the welds will last longer, and then we also did that throughout the entire build of the exhaust. So all the other brackets we made thin plates that went halfway around the exhaust tube and then welded the bracket to that. So instead of the bracket taking all the stress, that plate will take more of the stress and disperse it over the entire exhaust. Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's why we got wire brush. Yeah. It's pretty clean, so just a quick wire brush and it should be pretty good.
Winter's coming.
Yeah. So we're gonna have 500 people out here. They had 70.
Really? I'm shocked they even had 7.
I'm surprised too.
That's expensive. Were they upset about it or no?
I don't know how it was. I mean, if I was a vendor and they said there's gonna be 500 people here, well, let's pack up our trailer and come up get all this shit all set up there, and we'll have a lot of prospective customers, and then what, you charge these people $50?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Okay.
So something you're going to see here is Roger is welding. We're doing TIG welding, but it's with a lot thicker rod. And you would be like, wow, that's a really thick rod of stainless steel or steel. It's actually silicon bronze, which is not your typical way of TIG welding. And the reason Roger made that choice was silicon bronze is a lot more fluid and it has an easier time penetrating the welds or the welding surface, where if we were to try to just regular TIG weld this with stainless steel, it might be too harsh and blow through the muffler, because the muffler is a lot thinner than the plate that we're welding to. So he made the choice to do silicon bronze. It was a fun experiment. It actually worked out really well, and you can tell that the weld is really penetrating and kind of flowing down underneath that bracket because it's not perfectly attached to the muffler. So by getting that weld down in there, it gives us a stronger weld, and it seals the parts from any water or dirt or grime getting in there and eventually rusting out the weld. You're trying to get underneath the gaps?
Well, I'm trying to get it to head in this direction. So I got a lot of lead angle. Maybe I'm not keeping enough shielding over the puddle when it's point.
Okay.
So maybe I'm shooting past it. So I'm going to try less lead angle this time to see if I can just get it to cat crawl by itself. See how that goes.
This is a super weird camera angle, but essentially this is the exhaust that Roger and I welded and fabricated. And I mean, I'll say this, like, I am learning to weld from him, but he welded this entire exhaust and it came out amazing. The welds on this are awesome. We TIG welded it all. It's all stainless steel. And developing it with him was super cool. Yeah, could I have went and bought an exhaust off the shelf that would have worked? Yes. Would it have been what I wanted? Maybe. but it wouldn't have been, I think they were all like 2.25 or 2.5 inch exhaust piping for E30s. And I had an E, I don't have an I. So I don't get the really nice crossover pipe and everything. And I could have probably tried to convert it over to an I, but at the end of the day, I think this did cost me a lot less than that exhaust, because my neighbor Roger is an amazing guy, and he just wanted to do a project with me and teach me how to weld and just spend time. And I learned so much from that gentleman. He is a wealth of knowledge, and I think that alone was way better than just going off and buying exhaust off the internet and then putting it on in a weekend. Because going with him every week or weekend to do a little bit here and a little bit there was well worth it for me. I learned so much, and I got an awesome product. I mean, I developed pretty much the entire exhaust myself, with him putting in his, he let me develop and go with the idea of I wanted it, and if he thought maybe it wouldn't work the best, or he could see a better idea or a better way of doing it, he would input it, but he didn't want to derail my project. So he was super supportive, super helpful, and I would highly recommend him to do any exhaust for anyone, or any welding fabrication for anyone. But thankfully I got the family friend discount, and other customers won't, so an exhaust like this would probably cost a whole lot more from him because of the time and effort we put into it. I mean, we made custom brackets, and I mean, I haven't even gotten into the good stuff over here, where all these pie cuts, he did all this. They came out great. And over there on the muffler is adjustable. That was a design him and I kind of bounced ideas back and forth. And I had an idea of what I wanted, and he was like 10 steps forward, was like, hey, that's a great idea. Let's do this and this to make it a little bit better. And it worked out fantastic. So over here, so right here we have the brackets that are similar to the OEM. That's kind of what I wanted. I wanted to use the OEM mounts, and I knew we would have to come up with the bracketry of it, where it would be a loop and a hook, right? Super simple. But I'm like, you know what? I think it would be amazing if, like, for instance, if I want to run the body kit or take the body kit off, if we could have these adjustable. So on here, I have it full lock. I do have another locking nut that I can put in there. Like this one has the locking nut. So basically, if I want the muffler to run lower, lower, I would raise up the mount and then, lock it with the nut, which, I mean, you can tell. See, right? And boom, I can lock it on itself. Tighten those two up and then adjust the muffler, which is crazy cool. I can flip it over, and you can see we made a saddle or a straddle right here, or two little pads. So it would take the tension off the muffler and have it welded here. And I guess you can tell that it looks a little different, right? It doesn't look like your typical TIG weld. It has kind of like a bronze, and this is silicon bronze. So we did a whole different type of welding on this, where it's with silicon bronze, because it has a lot more fluid, and we're able and not blow holes into the muffler. So we're able to feed it back and really get this plate, one, sucked down to the muffler without damaging it, but two, really get a good not seal, but a really good weld on the muffler. And it, in my opinion, it came out fantastic. Like, it was so much fun working with Roger. Roger's such a great guy. And, just going every weekend to work with him for a couple hours on a Saturday or a Sunday. And for him to take that much time out of his day to work with me speaks volumes about the guy. And over here, you can see we have a bunch of different pie cuts, and this was a lot of fun watching him weld all this. I know it probably wasn't as much fun for him, because that was, I think I got, actually, yeah, let's take that part. I know it wasn't a ton of fun for him, because this was a lot of welding. But I knew I have the head or the exhaust manifold, stock exhaust manifold still in the car, and I knew I was going to want to swap that out. So we decided we were going to V-band it, go from the 2 1/4, 2 1/2, I think it's 2 1/4 on the car, to a 3-inch, which is way more than the car even needs. The car does not need 3 inches, but I knew that the future engine was going to need it. I only wanted to build the exhaust once. I didn't want to go back and have to redo the entire exhaust. So we stepped up to 3 and we put a V-band on it, and it came out killer. All right, so that's going to conclude this video. You know, as you saw, basically the whole exhaust out of the car. I know it sucks I didn't get any sound clips of it. I really wish I did. I wish I got driving clips, installation clips. Hopefully when I get back from school, that'll be coming out. Maybe in a short, because I don't want to do a whole video on it. But yeah, so thank you for sticking around. I hope you stayed this long. If you did, there's a lot of fun content coming out. A new engine coming to the channel, and I'm going to be overhauling it, so please stand by, check that out when it comes out. And again, thanks for watching. If you haven't, subscribe or share with a friend. I really want to get to 500 subscribers, but you know, like all things, it takes time. So just stick around, hang out, and have fun.
Smash throttle, driving fast, taking control. One more time, light